Come back to that soon. Michael Rinkin and Lee Bowler will start from the front row for this one then. Grant Thompson and Brendan Tucker, Craig Thompson and Charlotte Pointing. This is a standard race for Aussie racing cars where we reverse the top 15. Alex Barbagallo will start out of 7. Midway pack through for him for the 17-year-old. Chris Stevenson, Reece Chapman and Travis Sharp jumping into the number 2 car. Then we start to get back to the busy end. Kel Trester and Blake Skibberus, Jay Robson and James Duckworth, Craig Woods and Sam Chester, back to Emma Clark and Robbie Gordon jumping into car number 57. Bill Hines sitting this one out. Ken Quinn, Ian Shivers, Ruth Bowler and Jeff Waters to the back of the field here, row number 11. So the car's coming down to set up on the grid. Let's go down to pit lane this time and say hello to Cam.
Yeah, David Russell will be loving to hear this. A new tyre strategy yet again. Lots of drivers out there with brand new tyres, Dave Russell. I asked them why. They said they've chewed up all their old tyres. General thought, though, is the fastest setup at the moment is brand new fronts with older rears. But as I said before, a lot of them on all new tyres.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy there, and it's unique to the type of car. You see the guys doing a great burnout as they take off to warm those rears. The thing with that is obviously the abrasiveness of this track is really chewing up. You'd think it would be wearing the rears out, but they're obviously really searching for that little bit of extra front to turn the car in with that new front tyre.
Until we get told it's not new tyres, maybe. Cameron Vanderdungen down in pit lane for today's support action here at the Perth Super Sprint. Very, very busy. Had a chance to walk back from the paddock just a few moments ago. Lots of people taking advantage of the last chance for a reasonably hot day. It's going to be upwards of 29 to 30 degrees here today. Great track conditions. These guys have been awesome. It's only their second time back here in Western Australia. And we hope they come back because it's a track that really suits them. Oh, it does. It's a real flowing circuit. We were chatting about yesterday the importance of making sure that you can get a good run through, but keeping that momentum up to pull you out of Con's Corner, which is down at that bowl we saw, and it's about keeping that momentum and getting a good run out of those corners. So the final couple of cars locking into position. Michael Rinkin perhaps there. Rinkin's down the front. He was heading towards the back. Talking to one of the officials here right now. So we've got Bowler and Rinkin on our screens. Anyway, green flag has been set to wave here. It is Rinkin just going back a position. We can see out of our window right now. They're asking him to go back even further. Yeah, he was asking. I think he's pulled up in the wrong grid box. You can see there's a space there. Smart thinking though, because if you start a race like that, you're going to get penalised. So he's obviously been able to correct that. Green flag. So not matching the grid as we expected to put Charlotte Pointing to the front row right now. Nonetheless, round 3, race 3 of the Aussie Racing Car Super Series for 2017. Always love the Sunday morning race that went underway here in Perth. And it's Blake Skibberus. I think it's stalled in the middle of the pack and everybody just avoids it. We all hold our breath because we've got memories of what happened here a few years ago. Oh, I was holding my breath there. You can see the cars coming up. We've got 2 cars stalled there, so it's Thompson. And I think Skibberus a bit further ahead. We might look for a safety car here if they can't retrieve those cars in time. They're going to try and push them out of the way, but it's a very short lap here. As we saw yesterday, they were doing 1 minute 5 second laps, so they haven't got much time to get the cars out of the way. Still haven't moved from our commentary box window. Nonetheless, they head down to Con's Corner, turn number 6. As down the inside goes Chris Stevenson as the yellows come out here. So our leader drops 2 positions. So safety car is called. The exit turn number 6. You really got to be careful in here. Some of these guys are still racing. Safety car boards and flags are out if you pass under yellow flags. As we're seeing right now. Oh. And that's contact on the 98 car of Jay Robson. That tyre is going to chew itself, and that's a brand new tyre too, or 2 of them. Well, he's had heavy contact in the front. It's unfortunate they've got radio comms. The team managers have got to say to them, guys, safety cars out there. They were racing, and unfortunately for Robson, he's got heavy contact on the front. He's gone straight back into the pits as well. Is there a point of the track though where the radios don't work around? We do usually with the street circuits we have that drama more so than road tracks. Yeah, look at the bowl. It does cut out because it's over the other side of the pits for them. The thing is, you can see clearly the yellow flags and the SC boards there, so you really got to look out for that. I know some of the areas are quite blind to that. I think it just caught a few of them out as they came out of Con's Corner there. So it was Skibberus and then Thompson further back, and they still just got away right now. And because it's so narrow, this straight, it's the narrowest track we have on the tour. Even for these cars, there's not much room, and everybody's scattering for positions. No, that's right. Duckworth did a good job to duck and weave out of the way there. He did a good job. On board now. Duckworth. Look at that straight.
Oh.
That's good reflexes.
Yeah, great job. He got a bit of wheel spin and at the same time he sort of did a little bit of a drift sort of flick around there. So it worked quite well.
This was coming across the top, so they've read the point now. The safety cars come out and it's contact between him and Travis Sharp.
Big crash then. He actually did quite well, although there was contact, he did quite well to try and avoid and look, he could have speared either to the right or the left and off the track into the wall.
View from Duckworth,
yeah.
His hand up, and all these two slamming into each other at the top of the hill. And Robson has gone back into the pits. Tucker is also in there. Let's go down to the pits with Cam.
Just jumped in with the Western Sydney Motorsport guys to talk about Blake Scaberis. They believe it might be a drive shaft. Apparently he can grab gears, but there is no drive on the car. They said it's a shame too because they just put a new engine in it.
Yeah, it's I tell you what, some of the different components in these cars, the lifing schedules that they go through, it's really important. Some of those things have been in different categories. Even new ones break, so very unlucky in that case.
Well, it's a pretty loose restart here with half the field still not in position. They've waved the green flag as the rest of the field come off the final turn. Traditional restart for these guys, side by side into turn number 1. So Chris Stevenson, Reece Chapman, who got his best qualifying result on Friday here, runs in second spot. They're side by side now through a little dogleg. Kel Tressiter on the charge already. He's up to 5th position. Now Thompson in the wall. And that's the second big crash.
Yeah, this will be a safety car
this year, and that's another car going in the background. That's Robson, who's just come back out of the pits. A messy start to race number 3, and Thompson's car's off the circuit enough. He's out of it, but that's the second big crash this car's had in season 2017, and he is disgusted.
We've got to see the replay to what's happened there. Obviously, there's enough room for 3 of these cars to go through. There's obviously been contact made, and look, he's okay, but he's obviously very upset. He wanted to get through that, and
that's a replay again. The Vodafone safety car is back out on the circuit. Meantime, that was Waters in the red 96, and bang into the wall. Nothing but concrete, left-hand side for the Hertz rent-a-car.
Yeah, we've got a good view here. He's run wide and
someone had to lift.
Yeah, exactly right. You're in the heat of battle there, but you know what the consequence is if you unload someone there. A little lift, and we saw supercars battling it out yesterday, and no one ended up in the fence, and the cars are twice the size. So, yeah, look, he did squeeze across. There was no gap. There was no gap there, so...
And that was Alex Barbutis, the 34 car. Looked like the Waters car, but it was definitely the car 34. His debut in the series. He caught up in a bit of a traffic jam up there. You can see the scar marks on the gold-plated Hertz Western Sydney Motorsport number 72 of Thompson.
And look, of course the cars have got mirrors. You know that you've got an overlap there. If there wasn't much though, there wasn't much of a gap, and all the cars are funneling through for that turn 2 to 3. Then they hop up into that turn 4 where you see the cars go flat up over the top there. So just disappointing to see a car in the fence. It was quite a hard hit for Thompson there.
Just tore the back off the car. It's all fiberglass. Structurally, it should be fine, but they're built very tough, these cars, as we saw with Kent Quinn's car yesterday.
Absolutely, and Thompson, I think, was signalling as soon as he came to a stop.
Yeah, what was that about?
Yeah. That's quite a hard hit to get going backwards there. So I'm sure Thompson, he might be a little sore when he wakes up in the morning from that. And it's unfortunate. We'll see another safety car.
And Robson do that on his own on the way back out, perhaps, in the 6-star sponsored 98.
Yeah.
Great recovery, though, nonetheless.
Yeah, he's done a good job. The crew's obviously reefed that bonnet off. He's got his brake ducts hanging under the car. So, yeah, Thompson being a good sport, high five. And that's not what he feels like doing. Unfortunately, he's had a rough start to the day.
Driver code, keeping your helmet on means don't talk to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for the second time, the Vodafone safety car is out, leading this field around. This course eats into the racing laps that we have. Of course, this will raise the conspiracy theories about reverse grid races and why we have them, but this is part of the entertainment package of Aussie racing cars.
Oh, for sure. I think they've got to do a better job of the restart now to queue up, to get ready. I think maybe the lights went out quite late. Usually in these categories, when they come out of that cons corner down the bottom, that's where the safety car lights are out. That's when they can queue up. So they've got enough time down the straight to all queue up, get ready to go, and then it's green flag from the moment they get to that last corner. depending on the rules, a lot of the time in this category, because they're too wide, they won't be overlapping until the line. When it's a single car restart, you are actually allowed to overlap after the apex of the last corner, which means if you get a bit of a run through, you can try and get up the inside for the into turn 1.
Which does help here, because you get it done down to turn number 1, you are set for the whole lap pretty much.
Imagine what Robbie Gordon's thinking at the moment.
Well, he's up
like,
to 11th.
Well, this is crazy. He probably hasn't passed a car yet, but he's done it through attrition, and he'll be loving it.
Cam?
Yeah, I've got my old mate Ken Quinn. We're going to do battle again, mate. You're back in the lane. Doesn't look good. What's wrong?
We're trying the new Motec dash and the new sensors, and it's just coming out with the warning for engine too hot. So we're just making sure it's only testing, so no point blowing up an engine today.
We'll get a quick shot of that as well if we can. This is the new Motec dash he's talking about. We'll just get in there and show you. So these Aussie racing cars, they're certainly coming along in leaps and bounds.
Wow, that is cool.
Yeah, that's a nice looking dash there.
And it looks likely we're going back to a restart soon. The Vodafone safety car lights are going out, and we go back into the rows of 2, and really this field needs to slow up a little bit here.
Yeah, they shouldn't be warming their tyres. This is lights are out, means go into that double file. You actually get penalised for that if you're warming your tyres when the safety car lights are out. So they're not gridding up. The guys in the back, I think, are going to need a bit of a tune-up after this race, I think.
First 5 rows look good. Now they finally get in position.
Let's go racing.
So rows of 2, Chapman and Chris Stevenson. Back to the restart. This looks much better. They're bunched up nicely, and back out. The green flag comes in race number 3 of the Aussie racing cars. Down to turn number 1 they go, and a much better start.
Yeah, they've done well. They've got a good run through there. 2 wide through turn 1. The action now is between Tressida and Duckworth at the moment. Woods is a couple of spots back. He's going to want to get into that mix as well. He wants to come in and go get 4 from 4 for the weekend.
Duckworth trying to push his way through on Tressida. These guys from the middle of the field, but we haven't had many green flag laps here at the moment. Duckworth has got the overlap here and should be able to get the job done by the time we get down to turn number 6.
He's had a big dive down the inside. He's going to go for 2. He nearly did it too. Good run out. He's got a really good exit there. He's nice and smooth, and he's made that stick for the exit.
Chris Stevenson.
Good job, James Duckworth.
Side by side, and now Tressida will push Duckworth down, and Travis Sharp looking for the slipstream downhill here at Barbagallo Raceway and into the final turn. Reece Chapman says, fight amongst yourself, boys. I want my first race win.
Absolutely. Now Woods is coming through there. He's watching this battle unfold, saying, all right, I'll just pluck them off one by one. But at the moment, it looks like Duckworth's going to try and press ahead and see if he can get on the back of Chapman at the moment.
Travis Sharp in car number 2 that Ben Walsh would normally drive. Going through the first couple of turns, Chapman, Duckworth, Tressida, Stevenson, Woods and Sharp. Alex Barbagallo in 7th position ahead of Jay Robson, Charlotte Pointing, and Robbie Gordon inside the top 10.
He'd be having a ball out there right about now.
Yeah. He'll drive anything.
Absolutely. I think he'd be happy to be under greens rather than seeing any more safety car boards. So,
and coming up to Charlotte Pointing now, this will be for 9th position. He's never actually sat in one of these cars until a moment ago, and it's now just slicing his way through the field.
He's just run around a road just about, so he's racing hard. He'd be having a ball.
It's a bit of a shared drive here. Bill Hines, who drove this car earlier in the weekend for Sean Rose. Down the inside goes Travis Sharp on Chris Stevenson with the rear guard flapping away on car number 2.
Here's the test for Craig Woods. He's had 2 race wins so far.
Who's that flag going out to? Someone's copied the black flag.
You better yell out, tell him to turn it around so we can see. So Woods is really, he's got a decision to make. Does he fight hard, or does he just grab some points in this race and see how they go for the last race, for the final race of the weekend? He's got some good points. He's sitting in 4th. Does he force the issue and try and get past Tressida and Duckworth?
So car 34 has been given the black flag here. Alex Barbagallo, and that will be for the contact on Thompson just a couple of laps ago. Of course, they set the grid on progressive points for the weekend, and then it's double points this afternoon. So Woods will be in the box seat, you think, by the time we get to later on this afternoon. Nonetheless, Reece Chapman gets out on the apron on the outside of turn number 6, and this is the only invitation that Duckworth needs, and Chapman knows he's in trouble here.
Yeah, he didn't get a good run out, and we're talking about that rear tyre grip and getting a good run. And Duckworth's always sliding up the inside. He's made it stick.
Oh, that was good from from the young
Chapman
fella.
wants this race win. He's going to defend all the way to the end here. Bit of bump and grind here from Tressida. Woods is in the battle now. He's going to play it smart.
Wow. So Tressida second, and Chapman now gets a margin. It's out to a full second. As the three guys that started down towards the back of the field in this reverse grid race, and now at the pointy end, this is what it looked like. Duckworth thought, I should have him here, textbook move, and Chapman says, no.
Geez, he arrowed in tight there too.
And
he wouldn't want to do that too many times.
Missed the curb on the exit as well. Great driving from the 17-year-old.
So we've got the three quick guys. We've got Tressida, Duckworth and Woods all chasing down Chapman. If one can get past, the other two will follow, I guarantee it.
Who's going to make the move? Tressida's got a bit of a margin now as Woods and Duckworth. Woods on the outside here. This will be cool if he can make it happen. Hasn't happened in the 40-odd years of racing, though, at Barbagallo. It's a big curb that will set him up here. But he's back in the slipstream for the run down to turn number 1. And Jay Robson is up to 5th. After all those dramas at the start of the race, he's going to bag some good points here.
That's a top ever. That car looks... It looks like it's had a fair bit of battle scars there at the moment, but looks a bit like something out of Mad Max, I think. But hey, he's doing a great job. To get up to 5th, that's an awesome effort.
Be really much cooler than everyone else anyway. Rare going through it.
His brakes aren't going to be cool. You see those ducting, the orange ducts there. That's to feed the air in to cool the brakes, and he's not going to be getting much of that at the moment.
Down to turn 6. 1 lap to go at the end of this race. So Robson on the back of Woods. Chapman's margin is a second. Jay Robson is the fastest man on the circuit, albeit with the bonnet missing of car number 98. Behind Woods, your points leader this weekend in the championship. They come down to the final turn, and Woods pulls out right at the last moment, and this time the job's done.
Get across. He's got to close that out. He's made it stick. Yeah, he's got enough margin there. So Craig Woods, good move, good decisive move. Robson around the outside. It's a cool move. You can make it stick. Setting a sprint car action.
He set a new fastest lap record ever here at Barbagallo at the same time he was in the argument for this position. 105.166. It's 2/10 quicker than James Abella's lap record set back in 2014. This is the last lap.
I hope there's no inquiry about being no bonnet. He's done a fantastic job to get from the back to get himself up into this position. So it's top lap 2, fastest we've seen for the weekend. Chapman's got one corner to make it all work. Is that his first race win?
It will be. It was best qualifying effort in his short little career. He's only been racing for the past couple of years. He started his career in karts at just 8 years of age. And today, 17-year-old Reece Chapman picks up the win in race number 3 of the Aussie Racing Car Super Series. We have a new winner in the championship.
He's done a great job, and we spoke about shutting the door. He's fiercely, going, and you can see how happy he is to get his first race win. Well done to him and his crew and his team, and it's maybe been a little bit of a time coming for him, but he's very, very happy. Well done.
And well, he might be too. The traditional hands out both windows, and Reece Chapman is the winner of race number 3. Kel Tressida second, Craig Woods third, Jay Robson. Gee, it wasn't some talent behind him, was there? James Duckworth in 5th, back to Sharp Stevenson. Robbie Gordon inside the top 10 with Charlotte Pointing and Michael Rinken. This guy will be exceptionally pumped up, but he's still got one more race to go.